So good morning, everyone. I, I'm doing the talk today, obviously, and thank you. Um, when the question, I thought, well, what question did I want us to talk about? And I thought about, our love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. And I think, I have this concept. To me, it's pretty easy to understand what love everything. I get it, and forgive, love only, and forgive everything. And I think, well, that's definitely a work in progress. But I really think remember who you are, just as Reverend Dale was saying, how important that is. And so I thought, who do you think you are? Now, did you ever have anybody say to you, well, who do you think you are? Who died and left you the boss, And so who do we think we are? It was interesting because I had my slides all done for this week, and I received an email. I don't know if that person's here. Yes, she is. And I asked her if I could share these questions that she was asking me, because I think these are questions that maybe you can relate to, or at least some of you. She said, in class, Dr. James talks about when we learn who we really are. Well, how do I learn who I really am? I think I know who I am, my beliefs, my habits, temperament. But if this isn't who I really am, how will I know when my true self appears? Can you relate to any of those questions? Brilliant questions. And how will I know what parts of my personality are the real and true parts of me? How will I know what parts of me I need to change? Will I feel something internally if a particular feeling is part of my true self? I feel like I am my true self now, but I'm not serene. Well, there's a clue. Is serenity supposed to be part of my true self? Yes. I'm independent and stubborn, and I'm attached to these feelings. Are these parts of my true self? Or are they just ego-driven and I need to get rid of them? I think these are really fabulous questions. And what am I supposed to look for, and where am I supposed to look in order to find my true self? Is there a true self template that I'm working to recognize? What should I feel when I find her? These are many more than one question, but I guess the point is that I want to learn how I can recognize my true self when she appears. So thank you for those questions. And how do we? I was just down, I went yesterday, or Friday, down to see Ricky Byers in Westlake, and I was with my grandchildren. And this picture always reminds me of this picture reminded me of my son, who I went to visit, Corey, who looked just like that from behind. And I love this. A child can teach an adult three things, because I'm telling you, every child is their authentic self. Have you ever noticed that? And don't you think that's why we are so drawn to children? They are just being who they are. That's what being authentic is, and I love this, to be happy for no reason. They can go out there and play and do things in the backyard, and just my two little granddaughters, and just be in their bliss and just joyful, and to always be busy with something. They've got to be doing something. They want to be exploring, doing things. Of course, now, when we were growing up, we didn't have iPads. We didn't have Netflix. We didn't have all these things. It's amazing. I was at my son's house, and my little granddaughter, who isn't even 2 yet, got the remote control and turned on the TV. I'm like, oh my God. They are hardwired, but they're always looking for something to entertain them, and to know how to demand with all his or her might that which they desire. And boy, when they want something, they make a demand, and just like us, we need to make our demand on the universe. And so we come in here, we think that we come into this world, but we're really being born out of this world. And we are these infinite beings. You know, when you want to know who are you, you are infinite. You didn't just come here. You have a lineage that is part of who you are. And you're going to be eternal after you're here because of all the lives you impact. You know, those little particles and everything, you are influencing people. What is going to be your legacy? So to be your true self is to recognize, yeah, I get irritated. Yeah, I get that. But what's beautiful is now we have tools. We have going within, meditating. Who am I? I would suggest to this person, those moments when you're in peace. I know you just recently went to the beach and you were at the ocean, and I bet you were serene. I bet you were loving what you were seeing. I remember we're into fall now, and I remember going to football games when that little guy was playing football at Palm Desert High, and the harvest moon would come up over, it would rise, and we have the most beautiful harvest moons here. That is when you're getting in touch with who you truly are. You know, you can say, well, Dr. Laura, I got junk going on in my life, and this isn't so great. Okay, so I want you to stop for a minute. Why do we go to the movies? We go to be entertained. All right, we go in there, and we know that's not real, don't we? But boy, we get caught up in the emotions, the fear. We're like in that movie. Well, I really believe that's what we came here for. We didn't always come here just to be, and be floating around. That would have been boring. I always think, like, when I make my transition, I'm going to want to come back. I don't want to just be in bliss all the time. It's like, put me in, coach. I want to go in there and do something with my life and my experience. I mean, yes, we do want those moments of silence, because that's where you get in touch with who the true self is. That is where you really, really experience that peace and serenity. And so that when you come out of those states and you know who you are and you know who everybody else, we are the creators of our reality. We are the creators of our world. Now, what we came here for, too, is to raise that consciousness, to raise the consciousness, and to be in this world. I love this. We live in an influential field, so we do have all that energy that comes out of us, that really has an influence. It's just like, I know that those of you have been coming here for a long time, and those of you who are maybe here for the first time, there is a palpable energy in this sanctuary. Don't you feel it? Don't you feel it? And it is the love. It is how we see each other, knowing that each person here is that divine. When we, growing up as a Catholic, we always thought of this loving God, and how then can the world be like all this, what appears to be chaos, if God is loving? Well, God is expressing through everybody. This is the one I have trouble with sometimes, is seeing the God in everybody. I have to admit that I react. That, we're studying in our class about how our synapses and this system and that system in our brain just triggers stuff unconsciously. But I look at, a child, how innocent they are. I mean, don't you remember how, at least when we were growing up, we didn't have these distractions. We would be outside playing and pretending, playing house or building something and using our imagination. that's still what we are here to do. And then what happens to us? What the heck goes wrong, right? So then we get into this pattern. Okay, oh, you're going to go to school now and you're going to learn so much. And then you're in kindergarten, and then you're going to first grade. And then pretty soon you're in middle school. And it's like you keep striving, think, now you're getting the mindset, whereas before you were just happy being. Now you've got to achieve things, and you've got, because this is gonna make your life good if you're successful, if you get an education, and then you go to school and you're starting to live. Oh, I can't wait till I graduate high school. Oh my God, I can't wait till I turn 21. Get my car, my driver's license. We're always living in the future of what's next. What's next? We tend to forget that innocence, that childhood of that child living in the moment and just experiencing love and moving forward. And then what happens? Then we go to college and we get our degrees, or maybe we don't go to college. Maybe we just get a job. We find something that we enjoy doing. We make money. And then, then you get the partner, the house, the kids. And then again, is that all there is? And so what happens is we lose ourselves. We lose connection with that innocent part, that child. And so we need to get back to that. We need to be here in this moment and living that, because we are influencing. When you walk into a room, your energy is touching other people, is affecting other people with the way you are. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're pretty split and divisive on our opinions. But here's what I want to know, and I want all of us to know, is that something good is coming out of it. Everything out of, the volcano, and we have our mountains, and something is good is coming, and we need to see the good in each person. And we need to be team players. We need to say, I don't agree with you, but I honor where you are, because I don't have all the answers, but I want to be safe, and because I don't know. I know that those masks are a pain. I don't like them either. But luckily I get to have them off right now. But here's the thing is we love each other, and we want to say, I don't have all the answers, but if I'm wrong or if I'm right, I want to know that I'm at least trying to help you and honor you. It's like if I drive down the road and I'm going down this way and I see the traffic on the left side going the other way, there's no cars. I can't say, well, I have the right to drive in that lane because there's no cars. You're not going to tell me what to do. We have things for a reason, and it's to honor and to respect each other. And we have this influential field. And so what we want to constantly be putting out there is the love. And so I love this. I found this. I thought, we must think differently, look at things in a different way. Peace requires a world of new concepts and new definitions. So we are each here. How are you defining the world? How are you defining yourselves? How are you being in that serenity? Things are going to come up that are going to bother you at times, or maybe not. Maybe you're better than me. But I have things that come up. But I have to remember. I have to take a deep breath and remember who I am. And more importantly, I have to remember who or what is irritating me is an opportunity for me to realize there's something within myself that love needs to be there. And so in Dr. James' Monday class and Reverend Dale's class, I love what they're saying. I am thinking. We are always thinking. Something in our head is always thinking. But what are you thinking? Are you thinking about fear? Are you thinking about lack? Things that are concerning you? And what I love this last one, am I willing to experience what I'm thinking? Because if you're thinking that the world is going to hell in a handbasket or whatever they say, then are you willing to experience that? Because that is going to be your experience. So what I would say to this person about how will I know when I'm there? You're always there in those moments when you're at peace. When you take that time to do your inner work, to quiet your mind, to commune with nature, to commune with God, to commune with that part of yourself that's so deep and so loving. You are that presence. You are that life. And to look at life from a different perspective, maybe there's something here that if I just understood it, it would make a difference. Hello. and so remember what you're thinking about and what you're focusing in. You are creating your future reality. All right? We have to stop living in the future. And that's what happens when you get to be about 40. You go, is this all there is? And what's been happening is all these years after that innocence happens, you're living for, oh, when I get that degree, or when I go here, or when I do that. We're not living in the moment. And so when we live in the moment, that's where your true self is. That's where you remember who you are. We are the creators of our life. We are these infinite beings that are creating the future. What are we standing for? Are we standing for divisiveness, or are we standing for oneness? Are we standing to be a team player? Are we standing to be love? You can't be around a child and that innocence and that amazement about life without knowing that is an aspect of God. And as we grow older, it was so cute. My oldest granddaughter's a little girly girl, and I had a scarf that I wore Friday, and she said, "Oh, Grammy, I love that, And I said, "Do you want it?" And she goes, "Yes." And so I said, "Well, tomorrow, when I'm done with my thing, you can have it." So yesterday I was getting ready to leave, and she goes, scarf. And okay. And so I went and I got it, and I wrapped it around her, and I said, I want you to know that this is Grammy's love. And whenever you miss me, or whenever you see this, touch it and know that this is love, that Grammy is hugging you and loving you. And that's what we each want to do. We want to be that love to everybody, to see that God in everybody, and to be that influential energy that goes out. And when you're not going to get to a state like all of a sudden, I'm here. Or maybe you will. I haven't experienced it. Let me know how it is. Because I want to know. I get glimpses of it, and I think that's what it is. It's times, and yet I know when I'm being pulled out of it. The difference is now I catch myself faster. Because before, I would have something trigger a negative emotion or reaction, and I would spiral down. And now I catch myself, and I breathe. Who am I? What is the truth here? I know that person looks like an idiot, but that is God. And I'm not seeing it because I'm not being it. I'm not being it in that moment. Can I hear an amen? Does anybody, am I the only, okay, good, because I thought maybe I was the only one. So know that you do have to, know that this is a game. We came here to have a good time. It's like Abraham says, you can't know hot without cold. You can't know up without down. We need that contrast so that we can choose in each moment, I'm going to be love. I'm going to be forgiveness. I'm going to be love everything, love only, forgive everything, and remember who I am. And always when you find yourself on that, the nails on the chalkboard in your life, take that deep breath. Take a few deep breaths and remember who you are. You want to experience love only. live in this now, creating the next moment by being that love, by being that joy in the world, by influencing, knowing that you are influencing. One quick story, and let you go. My niece, I was talking to my niece who's 24, and I said, well, so what are you doing, Daniela? And she said, oh, I have this friend, they went to FIT'em in New York, and she's a clothes designer, and Daniela's more into marketing and stuff. She said, we're going to do some business together. And she said, my friend's she works for an influencer. And I'm thinking, an influencer, I think, oh, she does like TED Talks? She said, no, Auntie, she dresses like these women that then go on TikTok and they have a following. And I'm like, oh. Well, the thing is, people, we are all influencers. We are all influencers. Know that. You may not have 1 million people watching you on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, but you are influencing the world with who you are. And the person that you touch and you influence, they're going to then touch, and they're going to touch. And that's how we change this consciousness on this planet. That's how we raise the consciousness in this planet. So, who do you know you are? Stop thinking, who do you think you are? Start knowing who you are. You are the divine. You are the powerful. You are all the power in the universe. Don't let anybody rain on your parade. Just smile and pray for them. If you feel that they're in pain or whatever, hold that light. And it's in those moments that you're connecting with who you truly are. It's in those moments of serenity and peace. Doesn't mean that it's always going to be there, but that's what we're striving for. That's what we're striving for. So, know who you are. Thank you. And be influencers.